It seems like nowadays, everyone wants to be a social media influencer. Personally, I've never understood the appeal of this. I also noticed streaming get more popular these last few years. I don't understand how people find enjoyment watching these streamers. I mean, how does someone find enjoyment watching something live for 12 hours straight, writing Pog chats, and paying money to them when they're probably more fortunate than you? Just how is that fun? I kind of get the small streamers, since the money you donate will actually make a difference in that person's life. I just don't get the big ones. The ones that only stream, and stream every day. The ones where the chat flows so fast you can barely read it. You know, I have to admit something. I have to get this off my chest. I dislike most of the big streamers. Because for them to get big, they have to be good at making parasocial relationships, whether they realise it or not. From researching this video, I realised something. This is a symptom of a much larger issue. But let's back up a bit. For those who don't know, another name for parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships. Parasocial relationships are where people form relationships and bonds with people they don't know. Usually the more popular someone is, the more likely they are to have parasocial relationships formed with them. This can happen to anyone, including celebrities and influencers. But usually, streamers are the main victim, and that is likely due to the format they inhabit. I noticed an evolution with social media. It went from texting people we are friends with, to texting people we want to be friends with. For you to be good as a streamer, you have to be good at making one-sided relationships. You may think I'm exaggerating right now, which I don't blame you, but I'm not. There is a game called Needy Streamer Overload. This game is fascinating. The game revolves around trying to become a popular streamer. But you don't play as a streamer though, you play as a friend. You are called P-chan. The friend you are helping trying to get followers is called Ame, and her streamer name is K-Angel. You, P-chan, are trying to get her to be popular. This means you basically control her life. The goal of this game is to get 1 million followers in 30 days. So, you know, very realistic. Since you are a friend, you can moderate the chat and other stuff. You can probably see where I'm going with this. With this power, you can ban anyone from the stream, especially the ones that make negative comments.
Ban the guy that just had his first time chat say it takes 19 years to walk past you.
The fastest way to grow is to interact with the viewers as much as possible, and make them have a parasocial relationship with you. Look, I'm not saying being in one stream and interacting with the streamer will put you in a parasocial relationship, but I am saying it's inevitable. Showing up to every stream, interacting with the streamer through chat, donating money to them just for them to notice you. From my perspective, someone doing that is in a parasocial relationship. Whether they realise it or not is a different matter. I don't think I need to say this, but the game Needy Streamer Overload is not realistic, but it is more of an extreme case of what may happen. People who don't have many friends in real life will go to online communities to fill that desire. But that is not the only way to fill it. They can also go to streamers and find a community that way. And this is quite likely to happen. Since loneliness seems to be on the rise, I don't see how streamers will not get more popular. The loneliest period this world has experienced was probably during COVID. Everyone was basically stuck in their rooms, locked in, with barely any social interactions. Is it a coincidence that streamers and VTubers blew up in this period? Needy streamer overload has 4 metrics: follower count, stress, affection, and mental darkness. Obviously, follower count is in the biggest fonts. These levels change constantly as the streamer streams and interacts with the chat. The ending you get is usually determined by these levels at the end of the 30 days. Your mood, your livelihood, is determined by how others see you. Wanting to be a streamer full-time seems hard. In fact, this game doesn't have many good endings. Parasocial relationships happen without the victim even realizing it. It starts off slow. You talk with your favourite streamer, you watch their every stream, you're also part of their community, usually chatting about how great the stream was. What people fail to realise is having a parasocial relationship is more of a spectrum. It's not about whether you have a relationship or not. It's more about how invested you are in the streamer. Ludwig is a popular streamer on Twitch. He made a YouTube video called I Am Not Your Friend. And that's good. A streamer making their viewers aware of parasocial relationships. But what I think Ludwig fails to realise is for you to have an audience and keep it, you must make some sort of relationship with them. If you don't, someone else will. Is it just me, or does it seem like all the most popular streamers on Twitch seem like really nice people to hang out with in real life? They also interact with chat a lot. Unbeknownst to them, what makes a streamer good and popular also plays into encouraging parasocial behaviours. If you watch a streamer every day, you're in the community, you're telling your mates how good the stream was, I would say you're quite high on the relationship spectrum. And also, you're in a cult. Alright, that was a joke. But the similarities are there if you look for it. Ever heard of Paris syndrome? The cause for the syndrome is severe culture shock. People envision Paris as this nice place full of romance, but when they find out going there in person that it's not, and it's completely different to what they imagined, they enter a state of shock. There is a disconnect between what they imagined and the reality. Does this sound familiar? Because of this disparity, symptoms include a rapid heart rate and dizziness. Almost all the big streamers play an exaggerated version of themselves on stream. Every time they stream, they do wacky things constantly to keep engagement. Isn't that a little deceptive? You're trying to make people like a version of you that doesn't exist, albeit super exaggerated. I said before there's a lot of bad endings in the game Needy Streamer Overload. Some of them, you don't even make it to the goal you set out to do. And unfortunately, that's the reality. Only the top 1% make it, maybe even less, if you class making it as earning above minimum wage. But you wouldn't know that, would you? About 70% of streamers who stream make no money. 15% make below $25. If the only people you see are the successful ones, then it may skew your reality on how easy it is to become a streamer. Survivorship bias is at play.
But you'll have seen all the creators in every genre on YouTube talking about burnout. Your dream job can still be a nightmare if you don't have a backup plan.
There are different kinds of streamers. A big one is VTubers. But unfortunately, the reality of VTubers is similar to streamers. Ironically, probably the best ending in the game is where you never make it big and live a normal life. The worst endings are probably where you make it and are too obsessed with the amount of followers you get. And you make that your whole personality. There is a game called Content Warning. It's a fun little game where a group of you go to scary places and get views. It's quite a funny game, not meant to be taken too seriously. The game is a bit ridiculous. The scarier things you capture, the more views you get. This kind of parallels our world a bit, doesn't it? People do stupid stuff all the time to get views and attention, whether that be good or bad. They live by the phrase, all publicity is good publicity. So they do more stupid things. The cycle never ends. One guy got shot by doing these pranks. And you would think he would have learned his lesson, but nope. He wants to do more pranks, probably claiming being shot was the best thing to happen to him because he got media coverage. There are times where parasocial relationships go too far. There are cases where fans would message the streamers constantly on a daily basis and want to interact with them. These fans are obsessed about the streamer. And unfortunately, that's the reality if you have a big following. If you stream every day, forming a parasocial relationship is not just a risk, it's an inevitability. And that's only if you make it big. The more likely outcome is, you don't. And if that happens, you'll have to either quit, or become a channel where doing inherently stupid stuff gets you views. With the rise of loneliness, these relationships will only increase. Some streamers are profiting off this loneliness, and I find that to be criminal. And unfortunately, the internet can't fully fix your loneliness. The issue with parasocial relationships is that it's usually not instant, but builds up over time. It goes from watching a streamer occasionally, to you being reliant on them for your social interactions. By the time you realise that, it's probably too late. Vtubers are streamers with animated figures, and sometimes these Vtubers are part of larger corporations. Vtubers from these corporations are sometimes not allowed to say if they're in a relationship or not. They are encouraged to lie. Sometimes these Vtubers are encouraged to form parasocial relationships to profit off these desperate people more. This is quite similar to how OF works. You can pay to message someone, and OF is quite successful. Not only are individuals profiting off loneliness, but so are big corporations. VTubers from these corporations are forced sometimes into doing this, because if they don't make enough money, they are axed. Or should I say, graduate. These corporations usually get into loads of trouble, seeing people as products, and not much more. The owner of the VTubers YouTube channel and their social media accounts are usually the corporations they work for. And these corporations make sure they don't step out of line. Most of the big and popular VTubers are in agencies. Do you know what idols are? They are this big thing in the Eastern world, where a group of people go around travelling to concerts and performing. These idols are usually part of agencies, and they have strict rules, like don't get a boyfriend, and don't show your real identity. These idols have devout fans, and there are cases where parasocial relationships form because of this. VTubers are a natural progression of this, and they try to parallel this. Did you know VTubers do live shows as well? The live chat basically acts as the audience. The reality of VTubers parallels streamers. And the issue is that they are more likely to fail, because VTubers are oversaturated, and there is a much higher cost for entry. Those models they use cost quite a bit to animate and rig. Also, most successful VTubers are part of agencies. Not only do you fail with a massive hole in your wallet. At some point in this video, I said that being in a streamer's community is like being in a cult. Although I did play it off as a joke, let's go through these similarities. Let's put your favourite VTuber in court and see how they do. Mr. Edgeworth. Gawr Gura here uses specific terminology to make you feel like you're part of the community. Cults do that. Mr. Wright. surely you jest. By me engaging this terminology doesn't mean I'm part of a cult. But you see, this leads to my next point. These VTubers and streamers are extremely charismatic. Who wouldn't want to join them? Ha. Anyone can be charismatic. I myself am charismatic. Doesn't mean I lead a cult. Which leads to our final point. VTubers and streamers make it extremely hard to leave the community due to the sunk cost fallacy, stating that if you spend time and money into a streamer, it can be hard to leave that streamer. And with these streamers encouraging parasocial behaviours, how can you leave? It makes leaving almost impossible. Gura, tell me you don't interact with the chat and take their money. Don't tell me you take money from people less fortunate than you. The silence speaks volumes. In the first episode of Oshinoko, we see an obsessed fan killing an idol after he found out that the life she lived was a lie. After realising what he'd done, the fan then... Although this is an extremely dark show, there is some truth to it. There was a case in real life where a streamer's car got set on fire by a viewer. This viewer drove 700 miles. There are even more cases of streamers being the victim of stalking. This may be the reason why there are so many VTubers. Streamers usually stream at the same time, every day, to form a habit to their viewer. Once the habit is formed, you're more likely to watch them. The same reason why some mobile games give login bonuses every day. Once you form the habit, it can be especially hard to break your streak. Once you're in the streamers community and you're a part of it, it can be especially hard to leave. The streamers may not even be aware of it themselves. In the game Needy Streamer Overload, Ame takes drugs because she has a fear. A fear that if her real self got exposed, no one would like her. The streamer self, K-Angel, is an overexcited, fun to be around streamer. Her real self is a depressed, emo, drug-addicted loser. No one would like that. She's so obsessed with her follower count that she used it as some sort of drug. She is obsessed with it. Instead of any other drug where you can get high on command, this drug is tied to how much people like you. And eventually, there is a limit. I probably don't need to say this, but the games and media I talked about are a bit unrealistic and are mostly exaggerated. But they are based on the real world, and that shouldn't take away the message of what these games are trying to say. Forming relationships, doing things for views, chasing clout. They are all real things. Fun fact, I like songs made by VTubers, and I'm not even saying it's bad to watch them. Just remember, they can never substitute for real friends. The biggest plot twist of the game comes when you get a specific ending. At the start of this video, I said you don't play as Ame, you play as a friend, texting her and basically controlling her. That was a lie. In one ending you find out you're not real. Hee-chan is not real. It was just an imaginary being made up by Ame. Some people watch streamers because they lack friends in real life. The same thing can be said about streamers with the viewers. Ame was streaming and obsessed over her following. Not because she wanted more money, but because she wanted more attention, which is the thing she lacks. In one of the endings, in her very last stream, she tore off the mask. She went to the stream as Ame. No wig, no makeup, no different personality. She exposed herself, so no one else could. Her biggest fear, the fear of people not liking her, did not come true. She smoked on stream and didn't say much, but people still liked her. She never streamed again. probably a few years later, a thread got posted talking about K-Angel. And instead of the thread being filled with negativity, it was mostly positive. Ame has some kind of a cult following. In one of the comments, it reads, K-Angel, the only real streamer out there. We are all somewhat obsessed with these relationships. Content creators want to make them, and the average person wants to have them. By seeing all parasocial relationships as bad, you miss the point in why people want to form them in the first place. In a world that is more divided than ever, some of us could use more friends.